Today we're talking about the Big Agnes Zoom UL insulated sleeping pad. Tonight temperatures are supposed to get into the low teens overnight. I want to see how the 4.3 R value does in these temperatures. Let's put this Zoom UL to the test and see how it is as a brand new insulated ultralight pad for the market. All right, here it is, the Zoom UL insulated ultralight sleeping pad from Big Agnes. And this is a first look, first impressions video to go over my first night out sleeping on this pad and my quick experience with it, and go over specs and details and what I think about it out of the box and one night of using it. This is the regular wide version, so it is 25 inches wide, 72 inches long, and has a weight of 17 ounces. Now currently there are 3 sizes available, and 17 ounces, when you really break it down, is a really nice weight for a regular wide pad like this, especially with this quilted type of beam construction pattern that they have for the baffles that is not a horizontal or vertical baffle that you get from other pads. 4.3 R value is what they are saying from this, and let me just jump into my experience real quick of sleeping on this for my first night. The temperatures last night dropped down to 17 degrees Fahrenheit. I was cold on this pad even with a closed-celled foam switchback Nemo pad underneath me. Now 4.3 R value really still falls within the 3-season temperature rating, so my best guess without doing a lot of extensive testing on this is probably not to take this pad lower than 25, maybe 20 degrees Fahrenheit, especially if you are using a quilt system. You are likely to be cold just like I was, but that doesn't necessarily mean that this pad isn't good. Like, I slept really comfortable on this last night. Better than I would have expected from having used the Rapide SL, which is also a Big Agnes pad, and the Etherlight XT, which we're gonna pull those out here in a second and compare them to this real quick. But I slept very, very comfortable on this pad last night. And for the 3¼ inches of height that you have in the center, and then 3½ inches of height technically on the outside, it's so minimal that you really can't even tell that much of a difference. It's more noticeable on the Rapide for sure, but it's supposed to cradle your body a little bit in that aspect. But a wide pad like this, 3¼ inches thick, was super comfortable. And for being a side sleeper, I didn't have any issues with my hips or my shoulders or anything digging into the ground or hitting the ground, and also not falling asleep like I typically experience when I sleep on a Thermarest Neo Air pad, whether that's the X-Therm or the X-Lite. Let's talk about some notable differences between the Zoom UL and the Rapide SL, both from Big Agnes. The baffling is going to be the biggest difference, because I think a lot of people are going to look at, do I get the Zoom UL or do I get the Rapide? And going back to my sleep experience and the way that the insulation is done with the Zoom, it's different from the Rapide. You have a different beam construction in the baffling that makes it so that you don't necessarily have a bunch of holes in the reflective film on the inside of the pad. And that is not the case with the Zoom UL. When I hold this up to the sun, you can see light coming through where these individual dimples are for the baffles. And what that is going to result in is cold air from the ground seeping through basically up to your back. And so you're not getting a full protection of insulation of that reflective film across your back. You have places where the cold can get through, which makes this very much more so a 3-season pad down into the high 20s for temperatures where you can expect yourself to be able to be warm. And so that's a key thing to keep in mind in the difference between these two pads. Not only that, but also the height difference in this pad versus the Rapide. The Rapide is a bit taller, so it's a thicker pad. It's going to provide a little bit more comfort in that aspect, but you're also higher off the ground. On the Zoom UL, they have completely changed the valve system on the pad. And I'm actually really excited to see this because I'm not a huge fan of the valve system on a lot of the Big Agnes pads. This double valve is just a opportunity for more leaks to take place because you have more glue, more surface area, and 2 valves. So more things to go wrong. But on the Zoom, 1 valve, and the only thing that you have to do is basically tuck this in to the one-way valve to keep it open so that you can dump all of the air out. So the next comparison is how does the Zoom UL compare to the Etherlite XT? And with the Zoom, you're getting a 4.3 R value as opposed to the 3.4 R value out of the Etherlite XT. But notice that the baffling is very, very similar. And the Etherlite XT is one of the most comfortable pads for sleeping in the backcountry, hands down. Look at how similar the baffling is on these 2 pads. They have that same type of dimpling and beam construction, and it makes for a truly comfortable, nice way for the pad to relieve pressure points and things while you're sleeping. And I think Big Agnes really has made a win in that aspect because the Etherlite XT is a fantastic sleeping pad that if the 4.3 R value makes this just a touch warmer than the Etherlite XT, and you save a little bit of weight as well, and you don't have as much of a squeaky noise like you have from the Etherlite XT, that seriously makes the Zoom UL a huge, huge win in my book. So with all that said, I am very excited to be putting this Zoom UL insulated pad to the test to get back to you guys after I have done some extensive testing to recommend it for sure or not. It's not actually available for a few months at this point. I've been lucky to work with Big Agnes to be able to put some testing in to then provide information to you guys so that you can make better educated decisions on whether or not you think this is a good choice for you. So I appreciate you guys watching today. If you're not subscribed to the channel, you know what to do. Also check out this video right here to see some of my favorite sleeping pads and not so favorite sleeping pads, since we're talking about those today out on the market. Hope you guys have an awesome day. I'll catch you on the next one. See you later.